In this Clash of Clans video, I will be teaching you the best attack strategy following the update. It can be used for Town Hall 9 and above, although it can be adapted for Town Hall 7 and 8 as well. So I will be sure to tell you everything you need to know so that after the video you can start getting some 3 stars. Welcome back to the channel then, guys. I'm your host, Judo Sloth. Yesterday, after the World Championship qualifiers, we did some friendly challenges on my Twitch channel. Now, if you do want to join me for live streams, the links are down in the description, but we were practicing the Zap LavaLoon, and I thought it would be really cool to showcase some of your attacks, break it down, teach you everything you need to know. So, let's go ahead and get into it. If you do want to support me in-game, you can do so by going into your settings right at the bottom, using code JUDO before making any purchases. But let's tell you about the lightning spell aspect of this attack strategy first. Okay, so what you're looking for with the lightning spell is good value. So in this case, we could have taken the scattershot and the clan castle. You're basically looking for areas of the base that are susceptible to the 7 lightning spell technique. That's often in the center, clan castle, scattershot, eagle. But for the LavaLoon technique, which is what I'm showing you in this video, we're actually going to take the enemy queen and the sweeper alongside that clan castle. So let's go ahead and take a look at that as Superman brings in the lightning spells. Make sure that the queen is on top of that area, but there's a key thing to note here as well. In the friendly challenges, know how many you need per building. So actually only needs 7 lightning spells in total, but 5 of them for the sweeper in the first building. Then as the queen moves, you can get a little bit of damage onto the sweeper up top as well, because you only need 2 lightning spells per sweeper. Once you've done the lightning spells, you can also offset the quake. Look at the earthquake already coming in a little bit off-centered to make sure we get damage onto the scattershot and the bomb tower as well. So make sure you are looking at where you can offset the different spells to get the best value. In terms of the lightning though, what we've now done is carved out the center of the base. Now for the LavaLoon attack, it is vitally important that you can get your LavaLoon around behind the sweepers. So that's why you always want to try and take them out. What is good with the Lalo attack is what you're seeing now by Superman in terms of the hero dive, the Sui hero method, sending the heroes in, and often what you're trying to get is primarily that town hall. If you can hold onto your Grand Warden's ability for the Lalo portion, then you are onto a winner. What this also does is help to create pathing throughout the base. So if we were to zoom out and have a look at this, we've actually taken out the entire southern portion and the center with the lightning spells, meaning that as the Lalo comes in, we have clear pathing over the top. So with the lightning, you're not only getting that good value, you're also getting the pathing. I will talk about the Lalo in a second, but let's show you a different example. Now the lightning is one of the main parts of this attack. That's why I want to make sure to give you a separate example, taking out a few different buildings, and I do have a whole separate video on the lightning spell technique, which I will link at the end of this one. However, let's take a look at this base. Clash Bashing, my good friend, I'll link his channel down in the description as well, has an awesome YouTube channel and a good friend of mine. But the lightning and quake method will be used in this central compartment. But one thing that is not getting taken out is the clan castle. And this raises up a really interesting point, in that I don't want you to get too fixated on taking out the clan castle. It's more about the value you can get within a set area. But thinking about the LavaLoon technique, there is a sweeper in this area as well, which makes it so much easier to then path around the other sweeper because we can come behind it. So as we bring in the lightning spells, we're basically zapping this entire area, making sure to get the queen, all 7 of them put in, but always offset the Earthquake. Couldn't even think of the name of the spell there for some reason. Think about offsetting it. So in this one, I mean, he could put it just about anywhere. Decides to obviously finish off the eagle. You've got to get the defense you want, but gets damage onto the air defense, the expos, and the scatter shot. Now, if you are a lower level, Town Hall 7 or 8, I'd recommend using the lightning spells, but dragons to finish off the base. If you're moving up to Town Hall 9 and 10, you might actually be able to use the dragons as well. For example, if there's multi-target infernos, but from Town Hall 9 and above, the LavaLoon tends to be the best, so that's why I'm showing you it. So we've kind of covered the lightning spell portion. I'm not really going to cover much more on that. You can check out the other video if you want, but I do want to mention the Sui hero portion a little bit more before we cover the LavaLoon towards the back end of the video. But checking this one out, it's vitally important if you're leaving the clan castle up, you can see the ring of the clan castle, that your Sui method does not lure the troops out of the clan castle. Very, very important. So we have the heroes coming into this bottom area. You can see the ring again around the clan castle. The heroes will not go there, but unfortunately in the end you will see the royal champion does move into it. But again, really good value. We're actually taking out this entire bottom area, and it is extended into the center because of the lightning spells. So pathing is then relatively easy to come in and around the base. Now, we do have at Town Hall 12 and 13 an extra thing in that of the Town Hall, the Giga Tesla or the Giga Inferno, which I'll get to in a second, but check it out. The Royal Champion getting on the inside, taking out the Lava Hound of the Clan Castle. So that's the bonus of taking out the Clan Castle. You don't have to worry about the troops, but it's not a necessity and it's not a big deal in this one. To be honest, the dragon was in the Clan Castle just in case we needed to take the Queen. Like I said, I will move on to the LavaLoon portion after this, but I wanted to highlight the Sui hero method. Let's take a look at the two headhunters just sneaking in as well for the Royal Champion there. Very, very nice play by Huss. It was great to have him in the Twitch stream, and he's also a Twitch streamer himself, but nicely done. Oh, to just miss out on the Royal Champion. But just know the headhunters can be good to sneak in as well, whilst the balloons are tanking the defenses. As we mentioned, the Town Hall at Town Hall 12 and 13, you want to try and have your Grand Warden's ability for. If you can Sui into the Town Hall, as I showed you in the first attack, it is really good to use the Sui heroes into the Town Hall, so you're flexible with the ability, because if you have two scatter shots, maybe you haven't taken them down with the lightning spells, you're probably going to need the Grand Warden's ability for that. However, let's now move into the LavaLoon portion. Like I said, at Town Hall 7 and 8, you can adjust and use the dragons. You could use it higher up as well, but I feel the best attack strategy after the update is the LavaLoon after the lightning spells. Okay, so this attack I will focus on the LavaLoon portion, but I'll very briefly summarize the lightning and the Sui hero method. For the lightning, we are taking out a scatter shot, the clan castle, the eagle, and an air sweeper. And granted, Huss could have actually waited and got damage on the Queen as well, so it is waiting until the Queen walks into this area where you are going to use the lightning. But not to worry, the primary thing I want to mention here is taking out the core, because that's where the lightning is so good. It's hard to get any troops into that area. If you were lightning an air defense on the corner of the base, it's probably not the wisest thing. For example, at Town Hall 7 through 10, if you are zapping the air defense because you don't have to worry about the splash, then you might want to go for the air defense in the core. You can easily get your heroes or something else to the air defense on the outside of the base. But with the core down, we now need to focus on the LavaLoon. So where do we bring the heroes in from? We have one sweeper which points to the right hand side of the base. So clearly we want to bring the lava hounds and the loons in from the opposite side of the base. And being that the Town Hall is down towards the 9 o'clock area, we want to make sure sure they path to that as quickly as possible. So it makes sense to bring the heroes in at the top to carve all of this area. Again, we've got the extension of that down into the middle for the Lalo to come in directly towards the town hall. So the Sui heroes, exactly the same as we mentioned. The clan castle already down. I cannot stress that enough. If you can get the clan castle with the lightning spells, the troops will not come out. A lot of people ask that question. The troops are gone. They've been destroyed. The building is crushed on their heads. They're not coming out. So again, now that we've used the Sui hero method, one of the best siege machines, if you do have access to them, is the Stone Slammer, because it acts very much like a big balloon and you can use it to tank much like a Lava Hound. So send that in first. And actually, one thing I want to mention here in terms of the LavaLoon as well, because that's what I'm focusing on for this portion, is it depends on where the air defense are. This is one thing I was prompted on in the stream, actually. Look at where the air defense are. They are at the opposite side of the base. So if we were to send a Lava Hound in now, they would go straight across to the air defense and our balloons would be vulnerable. So actually, send the loons in first, followed by that Lava Hound. It just means that your loons can catch up a little bit and the Lava Hound tanks them that little bit better. But again, we get to the 51% as the Town Hall is then activated. That's one thing to consider, and it's one reason that the Sui heroes can be really good as well. Town Hall 12 and 13, you've got to think about that Town Hall activating so that your balloons will actually target it. It's one of the reasons you can quickly get minions in, not only to help with time, but also to activate the Town Hall. Now, the Grand Warden should be put in with your balloons. You've got to use that ability if you are not suing the Town Hall. So all I mean by that is if you are sending in the heroes to get the Town Hall, you can use the ability over the scatter shots. But if not, try and get the scatter shots with the heroes. You get the idea. Make it as easy as possible for that LavaLoon. So ability goes off, and really you need haste and freeze spells. Because you're investing so many spells to the lightning, you can't really take too many rage spells or anything like that. You just have to take the single spell slots, and a mixture, depending on the base you're going up against, of haste and freeze is the best option. So checking this one out, what have we got left? The splash damage is what you need to worry about. So really, we've got the scatter shot. That is where we need to use the spells to just get onto that area. The freeze spell is the best option, to be honest, and you can use it to get the air defense as well in this scenario and just swarm it with the haste. Now, don't forget about balloons surrounding the base. That's one thing I didn't really highlight in this attack, but you can rewind and you could see how some of the balloons were coming through, which meant that the main push was condensed towards the scatter shot. Otherwise, there is a chance they could have come out to the side and the scatter shot would have done a drastic amount of damage. So you do have to plan, reinforce the loons, but just use the haste and the freeze. Do not use the rage. Use the haste and the freeze to help get to the splash and finish things off. And minions, like we said earlier, should be used to help with time, but also to activate the Town Hall. So I really had fun in the friendly challenges. It was cool to be able to break down, in my opinion, the best attack strategy. Again, if you want to join the live streams, chat with me. They're linked in the description. And I also have on the screen the video of the lightning spell in a bit more depth, and the subscribe button so you can join me for daily Clash of Clans videos. But that wraps it up for this one. Until next time, guys, you take care.